first big climbing trip was to Mexico to climb the 3rd, 5th, and 8th highest mountains in North America. These peaks are located only about 50 to 150 miles from Mexico City. We had a big adventure getting to the hotel. The radiator of the taxi blew up and we had to change cabs to get there. That's our leader, Phil Urschler, in the yellow shirt, and my old buddy Bert Falk on the right. The next morning we did a bit of souvenir shopping at a local market. We packed up for our drive to the town of Ameca and then on to the hut where we'll be staying on the slopes of Volcanoes. We stopped at another market at the town of Ameca. This church in Ameca, the parish of La Ascension, was founded in 1553. Inside, we found an image of the Virgin of Guadalupe, Mexico's most popular religious and cultural symbol. Oddly, it was paired with the mountainous ice axe, giving climbing a bit of a cultural blessing. In fact, Ameca was designated the capital of Mexican alpinism in 1992. The lodge at Tlamacas with Popocatépetl rising behind it. We stayed here until our 3 a.m. departure for the climb. Here are 4 of our fellow climbers, and here is what it looked like early in the morning. We got to the Las Cruces hut at 5:30 and stayed until 6:30 to get out of the wind. We climbed through mixed ice and scree for about another hour to around the 15,000 foot elevation mark, where we stopped to put on our crampons. I had trouble getting the neoprene straps on mine right, but off we went to the top. We made the very impressive crater rim at about 11:30, and then 3 of us went around the rim to the summit. Here are Bert and I in our mountain climbing garb. We got back to the lodge at 4. I slept from 7 until 9:30 the next morning. Bert thought I might have expired. On to our second climb, Ixtaccíhuatl, a Nahuatl word for white woman. The volcano does look like a reclining woman. Our destination for the first day is a hut located at the woman's knees on the right of this profile. This climb did have some challenges, and like all big mountains, its dangers shouldn't be underestimated. Near here, we passed a shrine honoring 11 climbers who perished in a sudden storm. Great views along the route, including this one of Popo. After a small celebration on the summit, we had a beautiful descent, enlivened by a few rock pitches. In town, we had a few preparations for our long drive out to Orizaba. After a long, dusty ride in the back of Senor Reyes' stake bed truck, we arrived at the Piedra Grande hut. We were sound asleep for our 3:30 a.m. departure when a noisy, partying group arrived about midnight. When we prepared to depart, we weren't too careful about making noise. The crater on Orizaba is quite impressive. Our route took us around the steep crater rim to the summit. On our way, Phil called out falling to test our self-arrest abilities. Big adrenaline rush. Phil and I celebrated our arrival at the summit by both of us lighting up a cigarette.
Pretty addictive stuff, nicotine. Totally nuts at an elevation of 18,878 feet. The views from the summit were just great. Storms had flattened these antenna towers. Our descent was uneventful, but a dozen years after our climb, 4 climbers died in an avalanche on this slope. Here are a few things that we saw on the trip. There's nothing like a good cold beer on a hot day. We did climb the Pyramid of the Sun in Mexico City. I particularly liked the jaguar carvings. And we saw some of the great Diego Rivera murals. And some really colorful things in the shop windows. Wow, I was a lot younger then. Well, I'll be on my way. Thanks for watching.